believing that government has the right to rule over you is it's bad thinking. A lot of people, particularly people who have proudly embraced secularism as a mode of looking at the world, these people have ignored a very real human need, which is for spirituality. And I'm not going to tell you what to believe at all. What I'm going to say is that the spirituality is a human need, and that you can't actually give it up. You can think that you gave it up, but then you start believing in the supreme power of the rule of law, for example, and you start spouting off about social contracts that no one ever signed, that you want to hold people accountable for behavior that actually came out of your own head often. Like you think that, oh, everyone ought to be doing this, and I'm going to assert that it's a rule that everyone should be following. It's very strange. And I'm not saying that we need religion. We need spirituality. And in absence of religion and spirituality, people will make up their own stuff. Not necessarily a bad thing. The toxic part comes when you start asserting that, the Santa Claus that you made up in your head is what everyone ought to be following. You got together with some other people and you codified it a little bit. You started writing stuff down on scribbles of paper and said, hey, we think the rules ought to be this. And because you live near us, you need to follow these rules. It's actually pretty crazy when you think about it. But it's totally what most people are doing. The thing about most people doing it is it makes it very common. That's by definition. A lot of people are doing it. It's going to be common. If most people are doing it, it's very common. But common does not mean normal. Normal has to do with the healthy balance of things. You can be a normal weight or you can be an abnormal weight. An abnormal weight would be a weight that is unhealthy, right? It's not about necessarily even having a specific number involved with it, but it's the state of health. You can have normal psychology or you can have abnormal psychology. You can have your body be in a regulated state where you're hemodynamically stable and your temperature is in the right range. You're under normal operating conditions. You got your normal chemistry going on, and normal can change and can be a little bit specific. What's normal for me here walking at a semi-brisk pace in terms of my cardiovascular system is different from what I would expect it to be doing if I were lying in bed and had just woken up. Both states are normal in context. Believing that other people can rightfully lord over you for your entire life is an abnormal thought pattern. It's not normal to the human condition. It's not even normal to most animals' conditions. A deer does not consider it normal to be lorded over every moment of its life. Neither does a fox or a wolf or a hare. They still have to contend with natural predators, and they can have their rights infringed just like any human can. But to accept that the infringement of right is the normal is an abnormal state. I started thinking about dogs and cats. I think dogs have adopted a strategy of, I guess they call it fawning in the You can fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. Is kind of how people respond to sudden fearful stimuli. And fawning is it's like sucking up to your abuser. You can try to appease the abuser, and I think dogs are in that category squarely most of the time. And a lot of people that are there too. A lot of people have been brought up in ways that are pretty traumatic, but it doesn't make it normal. It might be common, but it's not normal. It's not normal to accept a ruler over your whole life. You've got a life to live. It's your life. You have your own interests, your own desires. You have people in your life with whom you would like to make community and who may want to make community with you. That doesn't mean that it is a normal state of being to give up all of your sovereignty to other people, especially people you don't know. Oh my God, the state, the government. Don't do that. Don't do that. You are a human being with value that is intrinsic to your being alive on this earth. No one has to be shown evidence that you have a right to exist. You have a right to exist, period, end of story. You have the right to assert that right to exist, period, end of story. If someone is physically threatening you, you have the right to defend yourself from that person. That should not be controversial at all. But it becomes controversial when the person threatening you is wearing a very official looking badge, or was duly elected, or was duly appointed as the head office of this, that, and the other department. Somehow we've taken on moral responsibility for following edicts of a secular government. It's not normal. It's not a healthy state of being. It's not normal was a catchphrase here a few years ago after a certain person got put into the presidency here about 8 years ago. It's not normal. It's not normal. Yeah. This stuff isn't normal. This government stuff is not normal. It is common. It is the default way of organizing people on a heavily populated planet, but it's not normal. It's just common. And people need to figure out what it means to be a human being on Earth who can respect the other human beings on Earth as intrinsically valuable human beings on Earth, rather than as enemies, others, subject to rules by people with guns. I mean, the whole thing, we're so far messed up, it's not even funny. We need to get people comfortable with the idea that they have their own right to exist and to seek out human flourishment, just so long as you're not keeping other people from doing the same through threats of violence. I mean, if this sounds like hippy-dippy shit to you, I feel truly sorry for you. If you think that the guy down the street with a badge is your friend when some asshole can ring up a telephone number and get you swatted. That's not your friend there sitting in that car with powdered sugar floating everywhere. That's a tyrant. That's an enforcer for the man. And yeah, he might be your cousin's son, but you know what? When he puts that uniform on and he adopts a different persona, that of enforcer, and he stops thinking of himself as a human being on planet Earth and starts thinking of himself as an executor of orders as he understands them, right? And if he gets scared enough, he'll forget that long enough to defend his own life or the lives of his other people in blue. This is rambling, but I need you to know that you are intrinsically valuable, and so are your neighbors. And to treat them as anything less than intrinsically valuable in their own right, humans with souls, you're tap dancing to totalitarianism, and you don't even know it. That's sad.